So welcome guys to the team call. Thank you so much for making it. And we've got quite a few of you today, which is just wonderful to see. And just a couple of things before we go into the main topic of the call. So the main topic of the call today is we're just going to talk about time management. And actually, before I talk about time management, I'm going to talk a little bit about mindset. And hopefully it will connect really nicely with the call that Louise did last week for us about manifestation. And you'll see the reasons why in a second. But before I talk about that, I just wanted to cover off a few things from the super weekend yesterday. I know the vast majority of us on here, either we got on the Zoom call or we were in the Beachbody Champions page getting the live information, but there are a few announcements which came through. So I think for you guys in US and Canada, you are going to be getting the salted caramel Shakeology in June, which us in the UK like are unbelievably jealous about. So congratulations to you guys, and I might be paying you guys some shipping to get me a box because I love salted caramel and so does my husband. But that's one announcement. The other announcement, which I think there's four. Another really exciting announcement is the Muscle Burns Fat MBF program, which is going to be launched in, I think it's June, for Coach Early Access to take us through the summer. And it is a program which is devised by a brand new master trainer. I think she was called, I can't remember what she was called, but she looks amazing. And essentially it is going to be a program that's based on Megan. Yeah, Megan, that's it. Thanks, guys. It's going to be based on doing your reps to a beat, which I know kind of this time last year we were all talking about doing Morning Meltdown, which was obviously different, but it was heavily based on music. And I know kind of as a team, we all did that in one challenge group and it was super, super fun. So what I'm going to be doing is exactly the same in that respect. So when we've got kind of clarity, they may well have mentioned the dates yesterday, but I didn't write them down. Once I've got complete clarity on that, I will let you guys know, because I will run a challenge group for everybody to plug themselves in, their challenges, you know, for us to do it as a coach team. Oh, Joey's written it down, 7th of July, she thinks. And we can all do it together. And I think, and I was actually talking to Claire, I was on a call with her before the team call, I was just saying, like, as a team, I think, you know, regardless whether we're in the UK, US, Canada, with this situation with COVID, at the moment, we don't know how long these kind of restrictive social distancing lockdown is going to last. And I really felt, and I hope you guys agree, that was hugely exciting for us to be able to tap into that, to be able to have something to look forward to. Yes, we might not be able to go on summer holidays, but how awesome is that we can get everybody plugged into that, we can all do it together. And I think it would just be a wonderful thing to do as a team. So just start really thinking about that, have a look at the program details. I haven't even gone into Coach Office yet to get all of those details yet, but I'm sure it will be coming up and the trainings will be coming up. So I think that is kind of, for me, the most exciting thing that came out of it. We've also got the new Energize flavor, which I think is coming out I think that is in June, and we're getting that in the UK, which I know we were delighted about here because often we don't get the new stuff. And I can tell you guys that at New Leaders Conference in LA, I tried it and it honestly tastes phenomenal. I do love the lemon Energize, but the mixed berry was like very welcomed, and I definitely think we're going to enjoy that one as a pre-workout. So that's another piece of news. And then another product that's launching, although I don't know whether this is coming to the UK, but definitely in US and Canada, is that it's kind of like as far as I understand, like it's a fiber drink that's launching. It's got, I think, 21 calories. I know Carl's been talking about it in his posts about how you could mix it with vodka and tequila, and I was like, he's on my kind of wavelength of that, because I was talking about mixing it with gin. Oh, that's good. I'm glad someone was listening more than I was. Marty, UK will get the fruit punch drink, I think, and Bevy is only in the US for now. Okay, so that new product I'm talking about is in the US only. Thanks, Marty. I thought it was in Canada as well. And I'm not sure that we got a release date on that, but it will all be in the Coach Office. But those are kind of the major product launches. And then, of course, if you didn't catch it, please, please, please ensure that you go back and you watch the training on bod groups, okay? Because bod groups is going to completely revolutionize all of our businesses in the way that we run our challenge groups. We're not going to need to be in Facebook. I know kind of some of us have a love-hate relationship with Facebook. I certainly love Facebook, but I'm definitely going to be moving everybody into bod groups. The functionality of that is incredible. I'm not going to go into all of the detail now. The bod training, there was a link to it, so what I'll do is I'll dig it out, Tasha, after this, because I've photographed the link, and I'll put it in the team page, because it is one that I think you can just catch up on whenever. It's 30 minutes long. I think that is something that all of you need to make an absolute priority this week, to make sure you get that training call listened to, because if you don't know what you're doing with bod groups when it launches, we're really going to be missing a trick. The functionality of it is incredible. So they're the announcements. I really felt the energy from that super weekend, the first virtual one we've ever had yesterday, and I know a lot of us came out that really, really fired up and excited about where we're going to go with our businesses, what new programs we're going to do, and how that's all going to roll out for us. So well done for making that live yesterday, if you did. So moving it into the main topic of the call. So I thought today we would talk about time blocking, because I'm really aware that with the kind of social distancing lockdown situation, all of us are in all manner of different situations with our home life. You know, we might be single parenting, working full time. We might, you know, we might just be single on our own at home. We've been furloughed, or we've lost our job. And I think really it's at times like this, for many, many different reasons, that actually time blocking and management of time becomes unbelievably crucial for your business, but also actually for your mindset. And this is something that there was a national wake-up call. I think it was Ali Tessitore was on Monday, and she was talking about time blocking, and she was talking about how she did it, and maybe it was the Monday before. And she was talking about how she spends 15 minutes per task. And I was listening to that call, and I was thinking, I don't know how she gets these tasks on the business activity tracker. If you're new on this call and you don't know what the business activity tracker is yet, please don't worry about it. It will come with time. But there were some things on there. She was saying, I set a timer and I set an alarm and I do this task for 15 minutes. And I thought to myself, oh, there's no way I could complete all of that in 15 minutes. And if any of you have done like any personal development, like you know, you're in my book club, Everything is Figure Outable by Marie Forleo, or you have listened to, and I'm going to give you the name of this book because it's blowing my mind right now, and I really, really think you should all listen to it for your own business development, is The One Thing by Gary Keller. The One Thing by Gary Keller. Okay, I'd write that down. It's phenomenal. Those books in particular teach you that actually our time availability is all in our mind. Okay, so if we tell ourselves that we don't have enough time to get something done, you better bet we don't have enough time to get it done. But actually, if we put our minds to it and tell ourselves that we're going to get a certain amount of things done in a certain amount of time, I can almost guarantee 9 times out of 10 you're going to get that stuff done. And those books have kind of called me out on my own stuff. And I think, you know, I'm always that person that thought I'm amazing at time blocking, and I'll be honest, I'm pretty self-disciplined now with my business, because I've been running a Beachbody coach business now for 2 years. But there was still, my God, there was so much improvement I could make, and I have made. And what I am achieving in really small pockets of time is blowing my mind. So it made me call to question, actually, when someone says, I can't do this business because I work full time, I've got kids at home, and I don't have a spare moment in the day. Rubbish. It's absolute rubbish. Okay. And it comes down to time management. And I'm sorry to be so blunt, but I've really learned this the hard way. And so I'm just calling it out. I ordered this planner, Rise Up by Maura Kasaba, almost 3 weeks ago. Yeah, it was almost 3 weeks ago. And in Maura Kasaba's planner, it's phenomenal. It's literally, if I just show you, it's like a dictionary. It's that thick. It's £30. It's probably about 40 Canadian, probably about 35 US dollars. It is not cheap. And I thought to myself, well, crap, that's a lot of money to spend on an organizer. But, you know, I'm running a significant business. This is my full-time income, and I'm going to have it. I cannot tell you how much this planner has changed everything for me. These pages, I don't know if you can see, but it blocks your time out from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Okay. And I was sitting down and I was writing in my tasks from the business activity tracker, and I was putting a couple of things, 2 or 3 things per box. So each box is an hour. And what I have learned and what I have been able to do is complete about 5 things on the bat in 1 hour. Okay. And that's because I look at the bat, the business activity tracker, and for example, I'll just tell you, I get done in 1 hour all my messages, all my new follows, all my hey girls, and all my story watchers. And that's bearing in mind that my account is quite established. I've got, you know, at any one time over 200 people watching my stories. I have over 200 likes on all of my posts. There's a lot to get through. But by making myself be really crystal clear on every single hour of the day and how I'm going to fill it, I look at that hour and I go, I'm going to get that stuff done in an hour, and I am getting it done in an hour. And it really just made me realize how we can absolutely complete this bat in about, if kind of your Instagram's not as established and you've got half the number of likes I've got, I reckon you can get this whole entire business done, this whole bat done top to bottom in 2 hours if you put your mind to it, excluding your workout if you're going to do the whole thing. So I just really think for you guys, it's about setting yourself timers. This is something that Ali spoke about on the National Wake Up Call, and it's something that I've been doing, and it is making me so much more efficient because I sit down and I look and I set the timer and I'm like, shit, I've got 15 minutes. And it stops you doing that stuff like, oh, is that person gonna, like, what am I gonna say to this person? Will that person appreciate my message? Or maybe I should word that differently. Or all this stuff, this is us procrastinating, and we all do it, me included. It stops that because I've got 15 minutes. I've got to get through it. I'm going to get it done. And I cannot tell you how unbelievably productive it's making me. And it, you know, I've got Arthur at home. I've got my dogs at home. I've got my husband at home. I have like whole hours in the day where I'm just spending time with my family. And I absolutely know that I can nail my business now, like around that time. And I cannot tell you how like in control that makes you feel. So I'm not saying you have to get this planner. I would strongly advise getting it, but I know it's a lot of money to fork out if, you know, maybe you've lost your job or this is a new business for you and, you know, all of the rest of it. But get your day and write it out from the time that you wake up, from the time you go to bed, and work out, guys, where you're going to execute your business. Because if you're rolling into each day and you haven't worked out how you're going to get those key tasks done, and for each person on here, they're all different, right? We've got some people on here who aren't yet doing the business activity tracker. You're a newer coach, you're getting into grips with things. Perhaps you're just doing your personal development and you work out right now and you've got your new coach training. Or maybe you're a coach that really wants to get amazing results with your program before you start approaching people. That's fine. But I still hold you to say, where are you going to fit in your workout? How long is it going to take? How long your workout clip's going to take to post? When are you going to post them? When are you going to plan your post and when are you going to post? And honestly, it sounds stressful to start with. Like, are you joking? Like, break up my day like that, Izzy? Like, that's ridiculous. You are going to feel so much better, and you are going to realize that all of this stuff that you can't get done because you don't have the time is all in your head. And I'll tell you that because that was me. Yes, like a lot of us have got kids at home that are homeschooling, and I'm not saying that that's not difficult, and I'm not saying that that's not going to take a lot of your time, because it will. But there are ways that you can work your coach business into this, but you need to hold yourself to account. And by putting that all down, you absolutely are going to blow your mind, and it's going to make you feel really confident in your ability to nail this business, whether or not you're, you know, working full time, homeschooling, whatever it is. And the reason why I wanted to talk about mindset as well is that actually what's going to stop you doing this task, and really like taking control of the time that you have in your day and not allowing it to drift, which in times like this is so easy because we just roll one day to the next. Like, most of us don't know what day it is. Like, sometimes I don't, right? We're rolling one day to the next. Every day is the same. That's where we lose the time. And this is phenomenal time that we've got right now, because for a lot of us, we're usually going out to work, we're trying to time block there. But can you imagine if, for example, in the UK, like, I don't know what it's at for US and Canada, but for the UK, we've definitely got another 3 weeks of lockdown. If you can solidify and cement this stuff now over the next 3 weeks, can you imagine how amazing that's going to be when you're going back to work and you've already got a routine with your coach business and you know how long these tasks are going to take you? It's really going to help you level up, go next level with your business, your coach business, no matter whether you are working full-time another job or not. So I really like, call your mindset out. Are you telling yourself you don't have the time? Are you kind of lying in bed unable to get up because you're tired, because you've got in the routine of sleeping longer, which I know, like, for some of us is a real struggle. And I'm not saying that that's, you know, that's a bad thing, right? It's just natural in this situation. If we've got more time, we don't have to get up for work, that we're probably going to just give ourselves a bit of a break. But that time is what's going to make or break your success with this business. And that time is going to make or break how you feel about this business. Because whether or not you are brand new and you're just doing this to see how you feel about the coaching and the programs, I can promise you that if you are setting your mindset right every single morning, you're getting up that little bit earlier and you're executing your personal development and your workout every morning, even for a week, I can promise you at the end of that week, you're going to think, wow, I don't know why I didn't just get up an hour earlier, because I've got so much more energy. I feel so much less tired. And this is something that I'm doing in my virtual gym actually at the moment, and it's working phenomenally. So I didn't have much engagement in there. And I really sensed that people were really, really struggling to get up and do their workout. And so I set a challenge. I'm giving a Lululemon voucher in there for a week. The most consistent person at posting their mindset work, whether that's personal development or meditation, and their workout, showing it in the page, is going to get that Lululemon voucher. And I know already my girls who are doing that are feeling so much better. And that piece, guys, is what's going to motivate you to do the time blocking piece. Because if your mind's in the wrong place, you better bet it doesn't matter what you do with your calendar, it's not going to happen. And I'm a huge believer that if we want to be able to really like grab this coach business by the horns and run with it, you're going to do your workout in the morning. And you may disagree with me there, but there's a lot of research that shows that working out in the morning, you're far more likely to do it. You're far more motivated. As the day goes on, you get less motivated, and exercise releases endorphins. So if you're doing it in the afternoon or the evening, you're really not making the most of it. Okay, so call me out on it if you want, but I really stand by the fact that the workout should be done in the morning. You do, you know, obviously what works for you. Some people might work nights, and I appreciate that might not work. But for me, I was always that coach until Morning Meltdown came out. I was that coach that would just work out whenever it worked in my day. And because I was a new PT and I was, you know, teaching classes, and it was all a bit higgledy-piggledy every single day. And actually I could never find a routine because there wasn't a routine. I did my workout whenever. And it was only when Morning Meltdown came out and I started to get this consistent morning routine that I just started to feel incredible, because I knew that that was my time for me in the morning and that I wasn't going to get interrupted. I know some of you guys don't have kids, but likewise, I think there's something that is so special about that time in the morning when no one else is awake and the early bird catches the worm and all that, you know, everybody gets up and you've achieved so much. And again, that's a real confidence booster. Yeah. So get your planner out, or if you don't have a planner, get an A4 piece of paper, put Monday to Friday, and put those time blocks in with a grid. Okay. And work out what you're going to do each hour of that day. And I can promise you, if you start setting timers for these tasks on the business activity tracker, it's going to make you feel so good. And even if you don't get, say, like all of your Hey Girls done or all of the invites you wanted to send, at least you then know you've got a measure of, okay, 15 minutes, I can get X amount done. But I can promise you, when you hold yourself to those timers, to start with, I was like, oh, I feel a little bit like stressed. I've got 15 minutes to get this task done. But actually it was, my God, was it the rocket my backside needed, because I got so much done. I couldn't even believe it. So I hope that's helpful. And I think with the time blocking, it is like the reason why time management is such a huge problem area for entrepreneurs, people who work on their own, is that it's discipline. And discipline takes time to become habit, right? But it's holding yourself to account. So say you're going to be saying, right, I just think from tomorrow, guys, Monday to Friday, you are going to hold yourself to account on your calendar. And it might sound really regimented, but there's one phrase that I'm going to share, and this is something that's stuck in my mind. I think it was Ashley Fiddelson who said it, and it's stuck in my mind forever. There is no freedom without discipline. There is no freedom without discipline. And it is absolutely true with this business. If you want to have a life of freedom with this coach business, you better bet you've got to get disciplined with your time, because it will never happen without that. And I think that's the thing. Freedom is such a kind of fluid, lucid word. It's such a wonderful word that when we apply it to building a life of freedom, I think sometimes we think that also means the process to get there. And I'm afraid that's not true. So it is about creating disciplines that are going to be consistent over time, that are going to give you that freedom. I'm just reading these comments. Sorry, guys, they've been coming in. Yeah, and I absolutely love what Marty said there. This time is practice for what it would be like if we were doing this full time. And can you see why some coaches really struggle with doing this full time? Like, I'll just be completely honest. Claire O'Leary really struggled with doing this full time because she could not get discipline because she had all day. And because she had all day, she drifted through the day. And I'm not saying that's just because it's Claire, like that will happen to everybody unless we take control of our time and say, okay, I'm going to plan my post and I'm going to give myself a 10-minute timer, and I will have had to have planned my post within that 10 minutes. It is phenomenal how much that changes the game. And I think that is the danger as you move to doing this kind of more full time. You can just fill the time. And actually, like I've really learned, you just really don't need to. You just really don't need to. You just have to be disciplined and bloody focused when you're doing those tasks. And another thing that I'll share, actually, because it just has prompted me to remember something. How many of you sit down and you do a task and you go to do some invites and you see that you've got a message in your messenger pod, and so you come out of the task you were doing, maybe an Instagram, and you go and check and see what the message was? Because that you are going to achieve 50% less if you are doing that every single time you get a message. And I know Melanie Mitro talks about this. She talks about if she is doing one task on this business activity tracker, or, you know, it doesn't have to be the business, maybe you're just doing your workout. Doesn't matter what comes, like, doesn't matter what message comes in. Doesn't even matter if the phone rang at home and I was doing my workout, I'd continue doing my workout. I'll call that person back when I'm finished. Thanks very much. So it's about respecting your time and respecting that that's your time to do that task. And if you've got messages or you've got notifications going off in Facebook, that you're going to set another timer, perhaps. I don't do this because I'm not going to be that regimented, to check those. And you'll notice, or maybe you won't, but I have times in the day when I'm checking my pod. So if I'm doing a task, I'm not checking my messages until I've done that task, because my business, I respect my business more than just going in and replying to messages. They're not urgent, they don't need a reply, but these small tasks can be completed in the smallest of time pockets. But because of the way that our business is, they require a lot of focus, and there is a very big difference between sending 15 invites in 45 minutes and sending 15 invites in 15 minutes. And I can tell you that you can absolutely send 15 invites in 15 minutes. Hold on, I'm just reading these comments. So we should do a pod group for tracking accountability of it. Yeah, and I'm absolutely, like, I've done many accountability pods for the BAT, for the business activity tracker. I do mine every single day. So if you want to message me after this call and say, hey Izzy, I really want to do a business activity tracker pod, please message me and I'll set it up. But the only caveat that I will make, and it's quite blunt, is if you're going to do that, you need to check in every day. And if you're going to say you want to do it and then you're not going to check in every day, I'm just going to take you out of the group. And I think anybody that does that should be doing that, because ultimately that ruins the ethos of the group. If you're all going to hold yourself accountable to do the BAT every day, you need to do it every day. Yeah, Tasha, I still only ever have a couple of hours daily, and that's enough. When I don't have the structure, I'm way less motivated and I get lazy. Yes, that's what I'm saying. And that's why right now more than ever, and particularly if you have got loads of time in your day all of a sudden, unless you put these time blocks into place, you are just going to say to yourself, oh my God, why is it taking me so long to get this stuff done? Because actually you're not holding yourself to account, and you absolutely have to. Joey, I'm working from home and I find I have to work a lot longer hours than maybe I don't have admin, so I have had to get more. Yeah, and this is what I was saying about lockdown. For some of you guys, you've got more time, and for some of you, you've got way less time, but it is equally as important on whatever end of that spectrum that you are. So for Joey, it's right, okay, maybe I've got an hour and a half in my day max to do my coach business. What on this business activity tracker, or what am I going to do today? And for you, Joey, it might be that you don't get everything done on the tracker every day. It might be, and this is, I know, something that Donna did and she may well still do, is I spend a Monday doing X task, invites and hey girls, and I'll spend a Tuesday doing follow-ups. So that's something that I think Donna's nodding her head, so she probably still does it. And do chip in if you want to, Donna. But that's something. I was speaking to Mackenzie actually a couple of days ago, and I said to Mackenzie, what's your workflow? Mackenzie is always smashing Success Club, absolutely smashing it, seemingly spending a lot of time with her family. And I really wanted to understand. And she said, Izzy, I invite every day and I do 3 mass follow-ups a week. That's not what I do. So I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but it was interesting. It was really interesting to glean that information from her, that that's how she does it. Joey, engaging with people that watch your stories. Are you sending a message to people every day that watch your story if they never engage with you or have never engaged? So story watchers in your Instagram, I will go through every day and look at who's watching them, but I won't, if I've got someone new watching my stories, I might go in and like their post, but for the most part, what I'm noticing, and this is something like hot off the press from my kind of process perspective, is that if I start messaging a person as soon as they start watching my stories, I've noticed for the most part they don't reply. I think they find it a bit much. So what I'm starting to do is just go in and like their stuff, just try to get a little bit of, I suppose, like building a relationship with them before I message them. Because if they're a story watcher, they're very new. They're not even liking my stuff. But I do go in every day, Joey, and check who's watching my stories. And obviously, strategically, if people are watching my stories weeks on end, and I've had conversations with them, I will touch base with them sporadically, but obviously not every day because that would just be weird. Donna, I do it less now I'm full-time, but it's so important to time block. I now do the full bat every day, but have pushes on follow-ups twice a week. Yeah. So Donna is, I think Donna's process works really amazingly. And I think you know, where they say, like, where you divide your focus, you can't be as successful. So I do think there's a lot to be said for doing mass follow-ups 2 or 3 times a week. And as I said, I don't do that. I do a lot of follow-ups every day. But my business this is my only business. This is, you know, a full-time income for me. And that's why that's the place that I'm at. But for most of you, that probably won't be the case yet. So I think it's important to recognize what works for you as well, because what works for me in terms of I might complete 3 or 4 different tasks in an hour on that bat. You might say, for follow-ups in particular, I think you need at least an hour if you're going to do follow-ups. But again, like I say that, I've got a much bigger funnel than any of you guys probably, because I've been doing it for 2 years. I only have the same few watching the stories but never respond. Do you mean you message them, Marty, and they never reply? Yeah. So, and that's really like, there'll be some people that will watch you, and then one day they'll reply and they are interested. So that's, yeah, I think story watchers are very good for not replying. But then, you know, they're often the most interested because they're watching all of your stories. So you can never really second guess it. But I strongly recommend this planner. And it's also at the bottom of each week, it's got a marketing plan Monday to Sunday. So you can put in how you're going to plan your posts. And this is another thing that I wanted to talk about with time blocking. I never did that because I was like, I don't want to be held to a strategy for my post because I'm really creative and I love to just write how I feel and what I'm connecting with my business on that day. But I have started to write in what I've posted about, whether it's like maybe I'm posting a bit more about my fitness journey, and then the next day I'm talking a bit more about coaching, and then the next day I'm talking a bit about my family and downtime with coaching. And that's really helping me. And I think certainly, again, if you've got limited time and you want to be really efficient with your time, I think it is the best decision to really plan those posts for the week ahead of time. And I'm not saying I do it, probably should, but I really think that is a really effective use of your time. And the other thing that I would say is just make sure that you are, this is something that I've really noticed, and this is a side note to time blocking, but with my social media posts, like they are my grid, I'm really like pedantic about how my grid looks, really pedantic about it. And this is like, I'm one of Mackenzie's coaches. Mackenzie's Instagram looks super polished, it always does. and what I've noticed, and this is something that's really hit me the past few weeks, is that I have had more time to get good photographs. Guy's been taking photographs for me. I know we don't all have that ability, but we all have the ability to get a photo timer app and perhaps put a different outfit on, something like that. The engagement on my posts is almost double what it was before, and my posts are a lot more polished, i.e. my grid looks amazing. And I'm not saying don't look real, because I think it's really important to be real and true to who you are, and we're all individual and we're all different and we're all unique, and that forms our brand and that forms our connection. But if you are putting a photo on your grid that does not capture the eye, you are not going to get the engagement. And if you don't get the engagement, you are not going to have those conversations to be had, because you're not catching somebody's eye. And then you're not building, you're not, you know, you're halving your funnel, because perhaps you haven't spent the time to get that quality image. And I really did just want to say something about that, because my traction with my business right now is flying. And I am taking time to make sure that my grid is polished. And my God, is it making a difference to my business? People are seeing that professional when they're coming to my page, because it's my business. Instagram is visual. So they say, I think it was, I can't remember her name now, it slipped my mind, but she did a training for us at Beachbody UK in March last year. And she was talking about how like something like 80% of it is to do with your image, and unfortunately 20% of it is to do with the caption. So, you know, when I was new, you know, visuals are not my thing, guys. You won't believe that, because I know my grid looks great now, but they're really not. They're really not. I hate it. I'm slapdash. I'm impatient. I want to get stuff done. I was never into that side of things. But I realized through the passage of time that actually my grid was not up to scratch for where I wanted to go with my business. It did not look professional enough. And what I'm seeing now with the engagement, i.e. I'm getting over 200 likes, that's 100 more people to talk to. You better bet that's affecting my business. So really call yourself out on that. And yes, if you like Marty, I'm happy to do an IG audit for you. I use Snapseed. So I use Snapseed, and that's an app, and I don't use a preset, and I'll tell you why. I don't like to have the same color hue over every photo. And I don't like to, because I like to take photos inside and outside, and we have different seasons in the UK, and my photos, you know, it depends where I am, and I don't want to be held to a certain color hue across everything. That's just me, and I'm not saying that that's not you. And I think certainly presets can work amazingly for some people, really amazingly. Like certainly like Claire, for example, she lives in California, and she has the same, like it's the same kind of hue, because it's the same kind of colors that's coming from that area, and it's always pretty bright. Whereas it just depends on who you are. Like I'm a toddler mum, like some of my photos are going to have completely different colors in them. But with Snapseed, what I do, just so you guys know, is I put the same kind of setting on each photo so that it has the same look and feel, but it's not the same colors. But I really just wanted to mention that, because it's really affecting the traction I'm having with my business massively right now. Were there any questions? I've gone on for like almost 40 minutes. On the time blocking thing, were there any questions on that? Yeah, Lightroom's amazing. Yeah, when I had presets, Lightroom was really good, Marty. But Snapseed's phenomenal. And I'd, you know, Charlotte, for example, on here, her account. Charlotte, how old is your account? Maybe I'll just unmute you.
10 weeks.
It's 10 weeks old. And if you look at her posts, she's cc.fitnessdiary. And so cc, 2 C's, .fitnessdiary. She's got about 300 likes on every photo. And it really like spoke a lot to me, because she spends time working on her visual, the quality of it, getting the right light. She has a great phone. I know she's told me she's got some, I can't remember what phone she's got, but it's not an iPhone, and it takes incredible photos. And she's got about 300 likes on every photo, and her Instagram is, I think she just said it was 8 weeks old. I mean, I've never had that many likes ever. So, you know, more for Charlotte, she's doing something incredible there. But it really spoke to me, because she's getting more engagement. She's got way more people to talk to about this opportunity. So really like have a look at that. Are you really like doing your best with that, or are you just not finding enough time and just slapping a photo up? Because I'm afraid that won't cut it if you're really serious about building this business, because you're actually making it harder for yourself, because then you're having to go out and find more people instead of them just coming to your page. So were there any questions? Oh my goodness, I can hear my son's put on like rave music downstairs and he's only 3.5. Has anyone got any questions? No? Okay, good. I probably stunned you all into silence. But and actually, as an aside, if you want to do a Bat Tracker pod with me, let me know. I didn't want to terrify everyone, but I'm happy to do it. Everyone needs to be accountable if that's what we're going to do. So I'm more, Amy, do you do like a to-do list and then do your time blocking from there? Yes. So I have this. You're going to look at this and be like, whoa, how many words do you fit into an hour block? That's kind of how much I get done. And then this is I have an A4 pad for each day, and you can see like they're just numbers of follow-ups. They're names of new followers that I'm going to invite the following day. And often on there, Amy, I'll write a to-do list. But to be honest, my to-do list is my business activity tracker. So my to-do list essentially goes into those hour blocks, and I work out where, and even like calling my dad, like I'll put calling my dad out for an hour. I'll put a walk in my diary for an hour. I'll put like Arthur's bath, that kind of stuff, so that I've dedicated that time to my family as well. And it actually makes you feel really good that you're working this business, but you've got loads of time for your family or whatever else you want as well. Like Sons of Anarchy goes in there because I watch that in the evening. But any other comments? Yeah, I mean, I pretty much consistency over time, pretty much do the same tasks every week. Unless like maybe I'm on a trip, but I'm not on a trip right now. So not any trips anytime soon. Right, should we do a boomerang? Oh, hold on. Imogen, I spent a long time on my plan around my full-time job. If anyone wants me to share, not used it yet, but from tomorrow. Yes, definitely. Like anything that's working for you, the team page, please share it, because it's just wonderful to all come together and share this stuff. Really amazing. So let me just, sorry, it's taking me ages to get this up. Okay. Oh, thanks for all coming on screen, everyone. 3, are we ready? 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Thanks for being on, guys. See you soon.